New notification for messages.
The iPhone, clean lines, bright icons, and a touchscreen. The Samsung Galaxy, a series of Android phones with a similar look. If imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, Apple and Samsung certainly didn't get the memo.
At the heart of it is whether or not Apple led or followed a design, and whether or not Samsung copied or just was inspired generally by what was available out in the market.
It's a legal soap opera, Silicon Valley style. Apple says Samsung ripped off its designs, everything from the size and shape of its phones and tablets to the app icons on their screens. It's seeking $2.5 billion in damages. Samsung denies the charges and says Apple is infringing on some of its own patents and overreaching in its claims.
Samsung, on the other hand, has been in this business a long time. They're saying, come on, this is ridiculous. There's a proud tradition. Somebody's always following somebody. Somebody came out with the first PC, and then a whole bunch of other companies came in and did it as well. Well, that's what's happening again. You can't just say, we were the first, and therefore it's all patentable.
The skirmish is just one in a series of lawsuits by these tech titans as they chase each other through courts around the world, fighting over trade issues in the UK, Germany, even Australia.
They're using import and export controls around the world where they're trying to block each other's products. So the idea is that you get an injunction that blocks a product long enough to create a beachhead in a market. And then those injunctions at some point maybe get overturned, they get attenuated in some form or another. And over a period of time, what they've done is they've used these things variously. Sometimes Apple wins, sometimes Samsung wins. But it is really the act of two parties who are actually trying to find a way to get an upper hand.
Chasing that upper hand has brought lots of legal jostling. Samsung won a motion limiting how often Apple's attorneys can reference Steve Jobs during the trial. The two parties are even fighting over which side of the courtroom their teams sit on, unable to agree on who's the plaintiff and who's the defendant. But Apple and Samsung aren't just bitter enemies. Samsung is a key supplier in Apple products, making their relationship even more complicated.
There's a lot of companies that are frenemies in this industry where they're both competitors and partners. But this is like the mother of all frenemy relationships. I've seen estimates that 40% of the parts inside that iPhone are made by Samsung. So these companies are very much joined at the hip, at least as of now.
If the overseas cases are any indication, the verdict in this case may not settle the disagreement. A UK judge recently ruled Samsung's Galaxy tablet isn't cool enough to be mistaken for Apple's iPad. The punishment? Apple has to take out ads saying Samsung did not copy its designs. But that's on hold pending an appeal.